Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And this is the Olympus 25mm F1.8. I want to share the reasons why this is my favorite lens for street photography. Let's do this! This Olympus 25mm F1.8 was launched 10 years ago, and this is one of my favorite prime lenses for Micro Four Thirds system. I talk about upgrading to 25mm F1.2 Pro. I'll put the link to the video up here. Please check it out if you have not done so. In that video, I talk about selling this lens off, but I miss it so much. I love it so much, especially for street photography. That's why I reacquired it, and I've been doing so much street photography with this lens recently. Obviously, this is not going to be a review of this 25mm F1.8 because there's plenty of reviews available already out there. There is nothing new or nothing meaningful I can add to those reviews. But I do want to share my thoughts, what I like and dislike about this lens, and of course, plenty of street photography images, and let's look at them now. There's so much to like about this Olympus 25mm F1.8. It is so small. In fact, this is the smallest Micro Four Thirds 25mm lens with autofocus. If you compare this lens with any APS-C equivalent 50 or a true 50mm from full frame mirrorless, this Olympus 25mm F1.8 is still much smaller. It only weighs about 136 grams. That's like it weighs nothing at all. Being so compact and so light, this lens is perfect to be fitted on smaller Micro Four Thirds camera bodies like the Olympus Pen EPL7. In terms of autofocus, this lens is blazing fast. It only has a single moving element in the lens. When I shoot with this lens, I have no issue in nailing critical shots consistently and confidently. When it comes to optical quality, there is nothing short of being excellent. Even shooting at wide open f1.8, this lens produces consistent, sharp results, full of fine details and very good contrast. Also, this lens will render very beautiful looking bokeh. It is smooth, it is buttery and creamy. There's no hint of nervousness, and I love using this lens for my portraits of strangers. When I'm shooting people on the streets, the person will appear super sharp and the background will appear very smooth, very blurred, and very pleasing. There is that 3D quality pop when I use this lens. And also appreciate that this lens has very good technical flow controls. There's nothing severe to report. When it comes to distortion, corner softness, chromatic aberration, flare, generally this 25mm F1.8, it handles them very well. And finally, I also really like that this lens can go quite close to the subject. It produces the equivalent 0.24 times magnification, which is quite significant for a prime lens. Let's take a look at more photographs. There are only two things that I dislike about this Olympus 25mm F1.8 lens. Number one, it is not weather sealed. We have a lot of amazing weather sealed camera bodies from Olympus and Panasonic. For example, I have the EM5 Mark III and I'm using M1 and EM1 Mark II. Sometimes I would love to shoot in the rain. You can create some really cool images because in Malaysia it rains so much. But I cannot use this 25mm F1.8 because it is not weather sealed. built. Also, this lens is made of plastic. Well, I gotta clarify. By no means I'm saying that this lens is bad in construction quality. It is still very well built. You can feel that this is not a cheap lens, but it would have been better if, say, this lens has metal construction like the 12 f2 or the 17 f1.8. That will make this lens so much better and you'll feel more confident in using this lens. Some people ask, hey Robin, how does this lens compare with other 25mm alternatives from Micro Four Thirds? Well, we have the Panasonic 25 f1.7, but the lens suffers focus shift. I've owned one before and I sold it off. The focus shift problem was real. When I shot at f1.7, the images come out sharp, but f2.8, f4, f5.6, the images are soft. It was slightly front or back focus. It wasn't 100% sharp. And then when you shoot at f8, f10, then it came back in focus. That limits the use of the lens. There's a lot of aperture range that you cannot use with 100% focus, and you just have to second guess every time you take a photograph. I don't want to deal with that with my Micro Four Thirds system. So that lens has to go. And then there is the Panasonic 25 f1.4. Now, I've done a full comparison side by side between this Olympus 25 f1.8 versus the Panasonic 25 f1.4 with sample photographs being put side by side, blown out to 100%, showing that the Olympus was superior when it comes to chromatic aberration handling, showing that the Olympus was superior when it comes to corner softness, showing that the Olympus is superior when it comes to contrast and sharpness and overall image quality. And I got such a huge backlash. People came to me, the Panasonic fanboys were not happy to hear that this Olympus 25 f1.8 was superior to the Panasonic. In fact, I was the first person to review this when it came out. No one has this lens and I was the first person to compare. And well, since then, I figured out, hey, it's not worth comparing anymore. People just want to hear whatever they want to hear. No matter what you say, even if it's the truth, it doesn't matter. If you say something that they don't like to hear, they don't care. They just want you to tell them, hey, my lens is the best. Hey, my lens is better than everyone else. Hey, my lens is superior. If you say something different from that, they will come to you and burn you down. So guys, no more comparisons from now onwards. No more. I find that this Olympus 25 f1.8 is just perfect for my street photography. The lens being so small and so light, I pair it with smaller bodies. I can walk around for hours and hours without feeling any strain on my wrist, on my arms, on my shoulder. It's so much more comfortable to handle. It's such a joy to use. And because my camera and lens are so small, right? I can go to places and people will suspect me less. I don't look like I'm doing something crazy or weird. Like I'm not a reporter. People will take me less seriously. Like I'm not suspicious of doing something wrong at the wrong places, right? So I can blend with my environment better. I can approach the strangers easier. I can get closer to them and get the shots that I want for my street photography. I find that this lens works so much more effectively in that kind of environment. Also, the lens is blazing fast. I talked about it already. I can achieve critical moments, no issue whatsoever. And I love the results coming out from this lens. If you are shooting with 35mm lens or 28mm lens for your street photography, then that's fine. But if you are a 50mm shooter like myself, an equivalent 50 lens like this Olympus 25 f1.8 is just the right lens for you to do street photography if you're shooting with Micro Four Thirds system. That's all I have to share about this Olympus 25 F1.8 and why I think it's an awesome lens for my street photography. Have you owned one yourself? Do you agree with what I said? Please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you found my sharing beneficial, or if you've enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in the description below on how you can do that. Any small contribution will definitely help me to continue making more videos and publish them right here. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.